an anthology of horror. So this is Selfie by Luke Steadman from the book Into the Darkness, an anthology of horror. Just one more bag, Ellie proclaimed, as Max loaded up their final belongings for their trip to Water Creek Lodge, California. Max and Ellie had been a couple for 2 years. "Come on, let's go," Max called out to Madeline and Alexis, who were just finishing off painting their nails. Madeline and Alexis and Ellie had been friends since elementary school. "I am so excited," explained Madeline. Everyone who knew her called her Maddie. "I hope there are big hunky men there," laughed Alexis as the group all got into Max's silver Mercedes-Benz. "This weekend is gonna get fucked up," Max yelped, looking in his mirror as he started the engine. "Woo!" the girls cried in excitement. "Backseat selfie time," giggled Alexis as she and Maddie pouted for the camera on Alexis's iPhone as Max drove off. "The weather is so nice today. I hope it's like this all weekend. Hot and sunny makes for an even better drive, and I couldn't think of better people to be spending my weekend with," Ellie confessed. "Oh, how sweet," Maddie replied. "Hey, yo, what's the distinction between a stripper and a mosquito? When you slap a mosquito, it quits sucking," Max said jokingly. "Always the joker. And I don't ever want you to stop," Max whispered as he leaned closer to Ellie's ear. "Where's the tune?" shouted Alexis. Max turned the radio on. The girls yelled in excitement as Highway to Hell by AC/DC was playing. "I'm on the highway to hell," the group all started singing out loud. This was going to be a weekend this group of 21-year-olds would never forget. A few hours later, the girls had fallen asleep in the back, leaving Max and Ellie up front. "Shouldn't be much further, GPS says so," Max explained. "So much for the nice weather," Ellie sulked. "The weather had turned wet and dull. And I was here thinking I was going to catch some rays this weekend," laughed Alexis, trying to keep the mood light. "What's that?" asked Ella while looking out the window. "What's what?" "Nothing. The weather's bad. I thought I saw something." Ella shrugged. About 5 miles had passed, and here we are, a relieved Max sighed aloud as they drove under the wooden Water Creek sign. "Ladies," he shouted, "we're here." Ella explained, facing her friends. "Fuck, where's the sun?" asked a dazed Maddie. "Nice place," said excited Ella as Max drove up and parked outside the lodge. The group climbed out of the car. "Leave the stuff. We'll get it out when the weather improves. Water Creek Lodge, here we finally are," Max grinned. Water Creek Lodge was a cabin on its own, set along a surrounding of vast trees with a road leading up into it. The wooden cabin wasn't too big, but it wasn't tiny either. It was big enough for the group to enjoy. It was open planned. The group walked up the 3 steps to the cabin. The agent said he was leaving the keys under the mat, so hopefully, Max explained, leaning down to the mat. Shit, they're not there, a shocked Max announced. What? Panicked Ellie. Don't fuck around, Maddie warned. The keys aren't our... Oh, I'm just fucking with you, Max said, smiling, as he held up the keys, dangling them. I would have gone fucking ape had them keys not been there, Alexis grunted. Max put the key in the door and the group all walked in. The girls explained in excitement. This weekend is gonna get fucked up, Max announced. Nice place. Look how open it is. I will be dancing around here tonight, Maddie confessed. You'll dance anywhere, especially when you've had a drink, Max joked. Shut up, you, Max replied Maddie to Max. Let's have a look around, Ella said to no one in particular. The group proceeded to look all around the cabin, admiring the views outside, checking out the bedrooms. They took note of the huge fireplace and made a comment on how they could roast marshmallows there. They were enjoying it so far, but they had no idea how fucked up this weekend was going to get. An hour had passed and it was starting to get dark outside. Ella had began cooking a pasta dish for dinner with Maddie's help. You guys bought a lot of food supplies, Maddie noticed. Yeah, we went to the supermarket last night. Don't want to feed dry now, replied Ellie. The rain's starting again. Just got to get the last box in. The beer. Max explained, turning to the group. Don't want to run dry, you mean? Maddie said to a laughing Ellie. Where's the music? I'm putting on my iPod jack speakers, asked Alexis. I'm pouring a booze, Max announced as Alexis put the music on loud. Right above it by Lil Wayne come on as the group started dancing and bouncing to the tunes. Drinks over their heads and waving their arms up. I've got to get the dinner, it's ready, Alice said as she walked over to the kitchen. She dished it up alone as the others carried on dancing. Dinner is served, she announced, smiling as she placed the dishes on the table. Okay. Selfie time. A couple in front of the table. Then we'll take some of this side, Alexis said while she started taking the selfie shots. Max lifted up his shirt to reveal his 6-pack. The girls called in response. Whoa! Let's look at them, chanted an excited Maddie. The group gathered around Alexis' iPhone and began looking at the photos. Oh, look at that pout. These are so going on Facebook, Alexis said. Yeah, look at your pout, explained Maddie. That's a beautiful picture of you, Max told Ellie. Oh, stop it, Max. That's a beautiful photo of you too, Ella replied, pointing at the photo of him lifting his shirt. The group laughed. Max's brows frowned. Wait, what's that? He asked, grabbing the iPhone out of Alexis' hand. What the fuck is that? He started zooming in on the picture as his eyes widened. He went through more pictures. The photo became clearer and clearer. There was a man standing in the background at the far corner of the picture. What the fuck? Explained a now scared Ellie. Who the fuck is that and why is he wearing a white hockey mask? Asked the frightened Maddie. fucking doors are locked, shouted Max as he ran over to where the man was standing to check the doors. The door was open. Fuck, thought Max as he had a brief look outside to see if he could see anyone or anything out there. He quickly slammed the door shut and locked it out. Maddie began running around, locking the windows, turning down the music very low in the process. She called Alexis to help. The signal shit, said Maddie. How the fuck did he get in? Ellie asked Max. I don't know, he replied. Wait, he startled. What is it? Ellie asked as Max put his hand in his pocket and pulled out the cabin keys. The keys were under the fucking mat when we got here. He must have found the keys and unlocked the door. Just as he finished his sentence, the front door knob started to turn. Shit, come on, he explained as Ellie ran to the door and leaned hard on it. The door locked, but the knob was still turning. Suddenly it stopped rattling. After a few seconds, Ellie pulled the curtains away from the window and looked out to see if she could spot anyone. Suddenly the man appeared directly at the window, just staring at Ellie. His head was slightly tilted, standing there with his white mask on. Ella let out a slight cry. He started knocking on the window. Alexis shouted, fuck off, Maddie repeated. He suddenly stopped knocking on the window, continued to look in, and then turned and ran into the woods around the cabin. What the fuck just happened? Alexis asked. I don't know, Max replied. Look, there are 4 of us, and only one of him. We can't take him, he explained. I hope he doesn't come back, fucking weirdo, Maddie muttered. Max let out a slight laugh as Ellie went around checking the doors and windows again. Let's see, our food's getting cold, he said. The group made their way around the table and began to eat. No one really had an appetite after what had transpired, but they did anyway. As Max sat next to Ali, he rubbed her arm in comfort. I know you're scared, but we're going to enjoy this weekend. We're going to be okay. Max got up to get some water, and without warning, the window smashed and an arrow flew right into Max's head. The girl yelled out a piercing scream. No, Max, no. Baby, no. Ellie cried. Max collapsed to the floor, the blade falling with him. Ella leaned over him, applying a towel to his head. Alexis and Maddie were standing over him, crying, holding each other. Max, with his breathing becoming shallower, said, Go get him. With a final breath, he fell limp in Ella's arms. Maddie and Alexis were in the background, trying to get hold of 911, but with no signal being so bad, they had no luck. It was too late. Max was gone. As Ella got up from Max's lifeless body, she looked out the window and saw the man waving a bow and arrow. Fucking bastard, she spat. I'll get you. It was then the man started walking towards the cabin. The girl screamed out, Get back, you prick. Alexis warned as she moved away from the window. Without warning, the electricity in the whole cabin diminished. We need weapons, knives, sticks, anything what you can find, Ellie commanded. While directing the girls, the 3 girls got knives from the kitchen drawers. There was a huge ruckus from outside the door. girl was trying to get in from outside. The girls held out their knives, steady for attack. The knob was hit once more, and they could hear the clunk of it hit the floor. "Oh no," Alexis said as she stood in front of the line. The door swung open with a kick. The man was in the cabin. Maddie screamed. "This way," cried Ellie, who was at the back, as they started making their way towards the back door. Alexis screamed as the man grabbed her hair. In a swift movement, she picked up 2 plates which were still on the table and smashed them over his head. The killer pulled a big chunk of her hair as he broke free. "Fuck," she screamed. Maddie picked up one of the dining chairs and threw it at the intruder, knocking him down. The girls proceeded outside to the car. Shit, fuck," Alice shouted. 3 of the car tires had been slashed. "Over there," said Maddie as she pointed to the building in the outside. The girls started running towards it. The rain outside was still falling. It was dark. Alexis slipped on some mud, but managed to keep falling completely over. There was a load of work tools inside. Garden forks, a few spades, hauled out a few straws, and a few haystacks piled up. "I saw something," Alice said as they got inside the outbuilding. "What?" asked Maddie. "I saw something when we were travelling down here. It must have been him. I told Max. You 2 were sleeping in the back," Ella muttered. Suddenly the girls could hear arrows being fired at the building. "Hide, he's coming," Ella murmured while picking up the big fork. Alexis checked the signal on her phone as she hid beside the hay. There were some signal bars showing. She dialed 911. "What's the emergency?" the operator asked. "Police, we're at Water Creek Lodge, Terramara County. A man is trying to kill us." Alexis explained quickly. The door of the outbuilding swung open as the man walked in. He walked in looking around, trying to see if he could see the girls. Maddie's phone flashed. She had gotten a text. "Hope you're having a great time. Love, Mum and Dad," it read. The killer saw the flash from the text and made his way towards Maddie. She screamed again. "Hey, fucker, come get me." He turned and started chasing after Ellie, who was making her way out of the door. She ran out in the rain so fast as she could. She looked back to see him chasing after her when she slipped again on wet grass. Shit, she thought. The killer gained up on her. He was standing over her. He threw his arm back and pulled out a long machete. "You're mine now, bitch," his voice muffled from the mask. "You're mine," he murmured from the mask again, but he's clear just the same. Ella was suddenly filled with hatred as she quickly pulled out 2 little garden forks, which she picked up from the outbuilding. She stabbed one into his stomach and the other into his side, kicked him over. She crawled back up and got up. Alexis and Maddie rushed out of the outbuilding. "Fucker," Ellie spat. Flashing lights began to fill the road. The police had come. They began to tape up the scene and investigate. "Hi, Ellie. I'm Sheriff Wheeler. Your friends told me you were meant to be here for a holiday weekend. What's happened here?" Ella, who was looking at the ground, turned and faced him for a few seconds. "Who was he?" Sheriff Wheeler shook his head. We don't know yet. My team is going to run his prints and try to see if we can get some form of identification for him. Meanwhile, an officer had taken off the man's mask and took photos for their police records. Ella turned once as Alexis and Maddie covered and said, "I just want to go home." The officer crew had taken the man's body and it was now being taken to the lab for investigation. When suddenly his foot started to shake. In the body bag, Officer Rust, who was sitting in with him, undone the bag and felt him. He said to the driver, "There's a pulse still here." You were listening to the book Selfie from the short story book Into the Darkness, an anthology of horror by Luke Steadman. Thanks for watching.